Hey folks, in this video, we're gonna share our Cameron Highlands travel itinerary, including everything we did, and everything we ate. Along the way, we'll also drop a couple of tips here and there to hopefully help you have a smooth and fuss-free holiday. We'll include the time codes to the various chapters in this video so you can skip ahead to the part you're interested in via the links in the description below. With that, let's get started. Our first tip is a bit obvious, but if you're driving to Cameron Highlands, try to do it on a weekday. Before our trip, we read about how horrendous the traffic could be on weekends and public holidays. For example, according to this article by the New Straits Times, during holidays, a 20-minute drive in Cameron Highlands could turn into 3 hours. Anyway, we actually drove from KL to Cameron Highlands on a Monday, and the traffic was so smooth and the ride was just so pleasant and relaxing. Exactly the kind of mood you want to be in as you kick off your holiday. Now, it's about a 3-hour drive from KL to Cameron Highlands. About 2 hours into your journey, you're going to want to make a stop at Lata Iskandar Waterfall in the town of Tapah. This is not the most convenient of locations to visit as the road is narrow and winding and there's no proper car park here, but it's totally worth it. The natural beauty of this waterfall is simply breathtaking. It is absolutely worth at least a few minutes of your time. If nothing else, snap a photo or two for the memories or for your Instagram, or both. And this might be music to your ears, it's free to enter. That's right, you don't have to pay a single cent to enjoy dipping your toes into the clear spring waters here. But just be a bit cautious. It's rather slippery when you're traversing the rocks here. We almost slipped and fell into the water ourselves. Also, there's a sign here that prohibits anyone from swimming in the water, and for good reason too, as the currents here are pretty strong. But, of course, people being people, some ignored that warning. Along the stretch of narrow road next to this waterfall, there are several shops selling a wide assortment of items including fruits, t-shirts, and various knickknacks. After a brief stop at Lata Iskandar, you'll have to drive another hour or so to reach Cameron Highlands. If you watched our recent videos, you might have guessed by now that the first hotel we stayed at was Zenith Suites Cameron, which we thought was one of the best budget accommodations in Cameron Highlands. And it's also super new, having only opened in August 2024. So definitely stay there if you like new things and you want to save money. To find out more about Zenith Suites, catch that video via the link above or below. Now, Zenith Suites is in the town of Tanah Rata. If you're driving up from KL, about 10 minutes before you reach Tanah Rata, you'll pass by Cameron Valley Tea House 2. We recommend stopping by here to take a break, as by this time, you would have driven for almost 3 hours if you're coming up from KL. You can enjoy a nice meal here while taking in the pretty amazing views of the tea plantations. And if you want a more first-hand experience, you can pay the entrance fee, I believe it's 4 ringgit, to explore the tea plantation on foot. Here's a quick look at what we had for lunch here. This is the nasi lemak. We also ordered chicken nuggets and french fries for our son. And we finished off our meal with dessert, a couple of scones with strawberry jam and clotted cream. The food itself was decent, although the menu is somewhat limited. Nevertheless, this is definitely a good place to take a break from driving and stretch your legs, have a couple of hot beverages, and grab a bite or two. By the way, there are also a few shops here selling tea, ice cream, and souvenirs. And if you're wondering, Cameron Valley Tea House 2, is there a Tea House 1? Why? Yes, there is. In fact, you'll actually pass by Cameron Valley Tea House 1 first when you're on your way up to Cameron Highlands. But between the two tea houses, I prefer Tea House 2. The restaurant at Tea House 2 is just a bit bigger, the view is just a bit nicer, and the parking is just a bit more convenient. But having said that, either tea house will give you a largely similar experience, so if you've already been to one of them, you don't really need to go to the other. From Cameron Valley Tea House 2, it's only another 10-minute drive to Tanah Rata. If you're staying somewhere in Tanah Rata, say at the Zenith Suites Cameron, close by is an eatery called Restoran Taman which is just a 5-minute walk away. Restaurant Taman is a halal steamboat and grill restaurant, which is just the perfect meal to indulge in while enjoying the cool, breezy, and sometimes wet weather in Cameron Highlands. On that note, here's our second tip. Try not to visit Cameron Highlands during the wet season. That's between May to June and September to January. because during the wet season it rains frequently and in certain areas the roads may be flooded. We were there in October and it rained nearly every day. And when driving on certain roads, we experienced a bit of minor flooding or ponding as some might call it. But back to Restoran Taman Apple. There is a wide assortment of items here for all your steamboat and grilling needs. You've got noodles, you've got a variety of different meats already seasoned including chicken, beef and lamb. You've got prawns, you've got bamboo clams, you've got flower crabs, mussels, squid, and you've also got several types of vegetables to choose from because everyone knows the importance of a balanced diet, yes? Can't just be stuffing yourselves with the free flow of meat and seafood here. Or can you? And while you're waiting for your food to be fully cooked and ready to eat, you can indulge in some of their already cooked dishes like bihun goreng, nasi goreng, and nasi lemak. Overall, we had a pretty decent meal at Restoran Taman Apple and it was quite affordable as well, at 39 ringgit per adult and 19 ringgit per child. Also within walking distance of Zenith Suites Cameron is Traveller's Kitchen and Bar. On their Instagram page, they describe themselves as a cozy neighborhood bar with casual dining experience. Other than having a drink or two or many, you can watch football on the TV. If you're hungry, the dining options here are actually quite diverse. You can choose from Western, Malaysian, and even Indian cuisine, which is what we had. We ordered biryani rice and to go along with it paneer makhni as well as chicken varuval, which is a dry chicken curry made with onions, spices and herbs. We were still feeling a little hungry after that, so for our second round we went for butter chicken and garlic cheese naan. It was just an Indian food kind of night. Now, I'm no food expert, but for a neighborhood sports bar, the Indian food tasted pretty legit. Anyway, in a nutshell, that was day 1 of our stay in Cameron Highlands. On day 2, we shifted over to the Camport Resort in the town of Brinchang, slightly to the north of Tanah Rata. Over there, we slept in a bus, literally an old passenger coach converted to a hotel room. If you've ever wondered what that's like and whether it's worth it, check out that video via the link above or below. But besides shifting to Camport Resort on day 2, we also made time to visit Bo Tea Centre Sungei Palace. This is a tea farm to the north of the town of Brinchang, which is itself to the north of Tanah Rata. It's about a 30-minute drive if you're coming from Tanah Rata, and as you get closer to the location, the road starts to get more and more narrow and winding. There are quite a number of blind spots as you turn the corners here, and in several places, only one car can pass through at any given time. So be very careful when driving here. Actually, on that note, be extra careful at all times when driving in Cameron Highlands, especially if you're here during the wet season. Landslides are more common, probably due to the frequent rain. One time, the entire road, both ways, was blocked due to a landslide. Luckily, we were able to bypass that road by going through the driveway of the hotel nearby. But back to Bo Tea Centre. This has to be one of the most scenic locations in all of Cameron Highlands, and absolutely worth going through the long and winding drive it takes to get there. Once you arrive at the location, you'll park your car in the open-air car park. Then, you'll have to go up a long flight of stairs before you finally reach Bo Tea Centre itself. As you're climbing up, you may want to pause in a couple of places. For one, to take a breather because it is a long flight of stairs, but also to take a couple of photos with the Bo sign and the amazing backdrop of the green rolling tea fields. Up at Bo Tea Centre, you'll find a restaurant with an attached balcony or viewing deck called Jade's Balcony, which I believe is named after John Archibald Russell, the founder of Bo Tea. Needless to say, but I'll still say it anyway, you can enjoy some of the best views of Cameron Highlands at Jade's Balcony. Just like Cameron Valley Tea House, the restaurant here at Bo Tea Centre has a rather limited menu, although the food itself was decent. It's not going to blow your mind, but it's good enough. And in case it matters to you, comparing the food between the two places in terms of taste, I'd actually give the slight edge to Cameron Valley Tea House. In terms of variety, I'd give it to Bo Tea Centre because they seem to have a wider selection of pastries as well as cakes. Other than the amazing views and the halfway decent food, you can also sign up for a tea tasting session or go on a tour of the tea plantation and factory. None of these are complimentary, as you can see on the sign here, but they do organize a free factory tour which comes without any tea tasting, so that's probably why it's free. At the start, the guide does give you a quick introduction or explainer on tea, tea leaves and the tea making process before ushering you into the factory to see it all for yourself. A few tea samples are also on display right outside the factory entrance for your sniffing pleasure. Once you're done with the tour, you want to stop by the tea shop, which has a wide variety of teas in every form, flavor, and packaging that you could imagine. Even if you don't appreciate tea, you could always buy something here as a gift for your family, friends, or colleagues. After Bo Tea Centre, our next stop was the Kea Farm, an agricultural district in Cameron Highlands about 3 km north of Brinchang. The main attraction here is the farmers market, which offers a wide variety of fresh produce for sale, including fruits and vegetables. The most popular item here seems to be the strawberries, which are sold by quite a number of shops at what seems like somewhat reasonable prices. But one tip for you, you might want to walk around the market first and check out the prices and maybe even try a sample or two at the different shops before you make a purchase. Besides fresh produce, there are many other shops as well, selling everything from snacks and ice cream to toys, clothes, flowers, and even succulent plants. At 10 ringgit for 4 succulent plants, it was a price too good to resist, and so I bought 4. I was concerned the plants wouldn't survive the long drive back to Singapore, but fortunately they did, and I'm happy to report that several weeks later, they're still thriving, as you can see behind me. Our final stop for day 2 was to Big Red Strawberry Farm. This is an agro-tourism park where they grow their own strawberries and vegetables hydroponically. In case you're wondering what hydroponically means, it simply refers to the way they grow their plants. Instead of using soil, they use a water-based nutrient solution. The main activity here at Big Red Strawberry Farm is probably being able to pick your own strawberries or harvest your own vegetables. At a fee, of course. And if you'd rather not do that, you can also just take a peaceful stroll among the various flowers and plants that can be found all over the place and just admire them. There's a cafe here as well with a somewhat decent selection of snacks and drinks, many of which have some form of strawberry or strawberry product as one of their ingredients. We ourselves had a couple of drinks at the cafe, a strawberry milkshake and strawberry juice, and split a strawberry cheesecake amongst ourselves. If you'd like to pick up a souvenir or two, there's a gift shop here as well. And if you have young children with you, there is somewhat surprisingly a rather sizable amusement arcade here with all sorts of kiddie rides and games. By the way, Big Red Strawberry Farm is also close by. In fact, it is just a 5-minute drive away from Cameron Highlands Resort, which is the 3rd hotel we stayed in Cameron Highlands. This is a small luxury hotel of the world with only 56 rooms. In my video on Cameron Highlands Resort, I described it as deserving of its status as a 5-star luxury boutique hotel. If you're after a high-end luxury hotel experience, this is the hotel for you. Watch that video via the link above or below to find out more about Cameron Highlands Resort. On our 3rd and last day in Cameron Highlands, we went to Flora Park, which is probably one of the most expensive tourist attractions in Cameron Highlands, with an entry fee of 50 ringgit per adult. But once you get over the sting of that 50 ringgit leaving your wallet just a little bit lighter, you'll soon realize and appreciate why they charge this price. This is one of the biggest, nicest, and most well-maintained flower gardens I've ever been to. Important thing to note, you can't drive directly to Flora Park. Instead, you have to go to the pickup point, which is a car park, so you can park your car there and then get on board a small lorry that will bring you up the hill to the park itself. Once the lorry reaches the park, you walk up this path lined with flowers on either side to get to the ticket booth and purchase your ticket. Once you enter the park, you'll find yourself in what I would describe as heaven for flower lovers. You want to set aside at least 1 hour or maybe even a couple of hours to really enjoy and appreciate the natural beauty on display everywhere in this park. But taking time out to smell the roses, so to speak, isn't the only thing you can do here. There's a cafe called Loving Summer Cafe. Yeah, that's how they spell it with the extra E. This is a decent place to take a quick break and have a meal or drink or both. They have so many options in their menu here, and I mean way too many, that you'll be spoiled for choice when trying to decide what to eat and drink. For ourselves, we ordered the crispy fish set with rice and salted egg cheesy chicken set with rice. We paired our meals with a lemon Sprite and passion fruit tea. Verdict: it was okay. Something else that might be of greater interest, especially to people who love high tea or Lord of the Rings or both, is the Hobbiton Village in Flora Park. To enter Hobbiton Village, you have to purchase a high tea set starting at the high price of 388 ringgit and upwards. We chose not to, but here's a sneak peek anyway at what Hobbiton Village in Flora Park looks like when you're standing at the entrance wondering if it's worth paying 388 ringgit for. For families with young children who need an outlet to burn off all that seemingly boundless energy of theirs, there is a kids park and playground towards the back of Flora Park. Only a 3-minute drive away from Kea Farm Market, which we visited on day 2, is Jade Vine Cafe. This is somewhat of a hidden gem in the sense that it's literally nestled deep within the O&R garden, which is itself a tourist attraction. O&R simply means Orchid and Rose, so you pretty much know what you're getting if you come here. But we didn't explore the O&R garden as we had already been to Flora Park. Instead, we just stopped by Jade Vine Cafe to grab something to eat and drink. This is a Muslim-friendly cafe offering an interesting and somewhat eclectic selection of food, including standard fare like all-day breakfast and fish and chips, but also ayam rendang, nasi impit, and kimchi mee goreng, the latter of which is not something you encounter every day. The uncle here, I guess he's the owner, taking and preparing our orders, is a very friendly and obliging person. We had a nice time here eating, drinking, and enjoying the view. So, if for some reason you don't want to visit Flora Park, maybe because it's too expensive, you could instead buy a ticket to the O&R Garden, which costs about 16 ringgit or thereabouts depending on where you buy it from. And after you're done touring the O&R Garden, you can dine here at the Jade Vine Cafe. Our final stop on our final day in Cameron Highlands was for dinner at a restaurant called Delicious and Happiness Cameron Highlands Restaurant. This Chinese restaurant in Brinchang sells your typical zi cha dishes such as butter chicken, stir-fried spinach with egg, sweet and sour fish fillet, steamed prawns, and sizzling seafood tofu hot plate, all of which are exactly what we ordered. In the off chance that some of you don't know what zi cha means, in which case that probably means you're neither Singaporean nor Malaysian, so hello to you. It's just a colloquial term that refers to casual, family-run eateries serving a wide variety of home-style Chinese dishes, often cooked to order and meant for sharing. By the way, that definition doesn't come from me, it's from this article by the Michelin Guide. Anyway, back to Delicious and Happiness Restaurant. The dishes we ordered were all quite tasty and satisfying both on our palates and in our bellies, except for the prawns, which were rather mushy and therefore most definitely not fresh. Which brings me to my 4th tip for you. Try not to order any type of seafood, especially prawns, when you're eating out in locations far away from the sea, like Cameron Highlands. Unless it's a high-end restaurant with its own live seafood in tanks, most other restaurants, I guess, have to purchase seafood from elsewhere, and the seafood would have had to travel a great distance to get there, and by the time it's cooked and put on a plate in front of you, chances are that weeks or maybe even months would have passed. And while we're on the topic of things not to do, here's tip number 5. If you're only in Cameron Highlands for a day or two and you don't have time to do everything we did, and so you have to decide what not to do, then out of all the places we've just shared with you, we would recommend dropping everything else except Flora Park and Bo Tea Center. Those are the 2 must-visit places, and you can probably do both of those on the same day, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And finally, if you're researching where to stay in Cameron Highlands, check out my previous 3 videos on Zenith Suites, Camport Resort, and Cameron Highlands Resort, each of which offers something a little different for you, whether you want a budget accommodation or something a little more adventurous, or a more upscale, luxurious experience. And that's all, folks. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please like and subscribe and share it with your family or friends. And also, feel free to leave a comment below if you have any questions. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye for now.